So you talk about upsets and shockers, and there's always a shocker in every playoff, but this Cowboys game, this was the absolute just complete shocker of the season. Cowboys are, I don't know what the record was, but they were, I think, undefeated at home. They put up, I think, consecutive, 37 plus points at home, and they come out and they get dog walked by the Green Bay Packers. The first time in history, a 7th seed, I think, has defeated whatever it was. It was unbelievable. The way the Green Bay Packers from the jump to control this game and did not let go. Right? They wanted possession first, which was smart. Right? They knew, I think, that the Cowboys couldn't play chasing a lead, so they took possession of the ball first. Came out, scored on their first drive, just handedly just went right down and scored, got a touchdown. And, I think overall, the Cowboys, they came out flat, not able to generate anything offensively, bad defense. And then CeeDee Lamb and Dak not able to get on the same page. And then lastly, I think the whole world, or everyone watching coming into this game, felt like what the Cowboys need to do was stop the run. They needed to stop Jair Alexander. They needed to stop Aaron Jones. And they didn't. The Green Bay Packers ran all over the Cowboys. And I don't know, it was just it was a shocker performance. But one thing that was not a shocker, at least the Green Bay Packers fans, was Jordan Love. I mean, this guy, after he struggled a little bit. I mean, a couple games going into the season, but I think after past maybe 4 or 5 weeks, he has been playing just incredibly right now. And again, everyone knows that you go from Favre to Rodgers, now to Love. I think the Packers have it figured out at QB, right? I think they have it figured out. I think that they they knew all along, I guess, just how good Jordan Love would be, and it might be too early to call him the guy, but I don't think it is. I think he is a dude. I think you watch the way he makes plays, even not just this game but other games. I love that release he has, where it's the back foot release, looks like Rodgers, looks like Favre. I mean, it seems like the Packers have a guy again. They have a dude again. Third one in a row. 272 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, his ability. He has the highest passer rate. He got the highest passer rating. One of the highest passer ratings in postseason history. Other one, C.J. Stroud, right, or one of the other ones, and highest ever on the road. It was just an unbelievable performance by him. And, but if you also have to credit the fact that the Packers really protected him, allowed him to make plays in the pocket, allowed him to make these really good plays. And it's just the Cowboys defense was nowhere to be found at times. I mean, there was one play where there was no one around that Packers receiver. I forgot who it was, but there was that one play where there's no one around him. You definitely got to credit Love, but you also got to look at just how the Cowboys defense was just absolutely non-existent in a lot of plays. And that kind of also trickles into that run game, right? The Packers run game going into this game was the biggest thing. That was going to be the way that the Cowboys could win, was you stop that run game and don't let the Packers get you there. They didn't stop that either, right? Over 5 yards per carry. It was just, they controlled the game all around. And, I know towards the end, the Cowboys got points, but those were just garbage time points, I thought. I don't think at any point in the game did the Cowboys ever have a level of rhythm or control or meaningful drives. They just couldn't get it going. And I think that's, I don't know, something that you really have to wonder, how do you come into this game with everything, all the narratives that are around the Cowboys and how people look at them outside of Cowboy Nation fans. And it's that narrative of, look, 12-5, how many seasons now with Mike McCarthy coming in with 12 wins, right? You come into this game and they are just not prepared to start the game, or I don't know, or Dan, you also look at Dan Quinn too, right? He is touted as one of the best defensive coaches and all that, and they just all drop an absolute goose egg on that first half, down 27-0. Pick 6, Dak Prescott, right? That was just a killer right there at the end of that first half. And I just Jerry Jones has a lot of questions to answer and problems to figure out, starting with the coaching, right? Like, does Mike McCarthy stay? And I know there's arguments to be made on both sides. I mean, this guy, 12 wins, right? What, 3 seasons in a row, I think. And people are talking about firing him, but then you look at the other side of that and you think like the standard for the Cowboys is not just to make it to the playoffs, but to win at least a game, right? To be the point of, or the pressure that comes with coming to Jerry World and coaching the Cowboys is that there's an expectation that you're going to take them past that first round, or definitely make the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl eventually. And Mike McCarthy has not been able to do that. So you got Bill Belichick there, and I think maybe this is just a discussion for a different video and a different time. But I think if you've got Bill Belichick and the opportunity for a Belichick or a Harbaugh, the opportunity for Belichick or Harbaugh, I can't pronounce that right. I don't know why right now. Or even Pete Carroll, which I don't know if he's high up on the list of who Jerry want. Vrabel, right? Even that too. But you got Harbaugh, you got Belichick, you got Pete Carroll. Hell, I mean, throw Saban in there, but I don't think he's going to coach anymore. Look, there's just questions to answer. I think Belichick is the one that's probably the front runner in terms of who fans at least would look to, who's next. But again, whatever the coaching situation is, that'll get resolved in the offseason or whatever. But just in terms of this game and just the letdown, shocking. I think just watching this game, even the first quarter, I was completely I don't know, like couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was watching this dominant Cowboys team get dog walked all throughout the game, and even in the end, right, like that garbage time comeback, it didn't even seem like they were gonna make it, right? And so a lot of questions to be answered. Even Dak, right? Like, do you stick with Dak? What's to be done there? Personally, I think you could or you should stick with Dak. If Belichick's able to get the job, and he's got great weapons with Dak and his receivers and all that. But again, this is one of those we'll see what happens kind of situations. But I just think that this was the absolute shocker, and I think this shocker set the tone for the rest of the playoffs. Especially look at the Eagles going down. The Lions finally winning a playoff game. All that, and it should be a fun matchup. I think I'm excited to see how the Packers will stack up against the Niners. Could they finally kind of get rid of their kryptonite in the Niners and kind of erase the demons from the past? We'll see. A lot of credit goes to you got to give credit to LaFleur. He finally implements his system, and we get to see Jordan Love fully in the system of Mike LaFleur, and look what happens. They're able to be as dominant as they are, and so it should be fun to watch. I think that there's a good chance, right? With just if the Packers keep it up and they're able to kind of crack through the defenses of like the Niners in the same way they did with the Cowboys. They keep their run game strong. If Jordan Love plays as well as he has, and I think you got to give credit to the Packers defense, right? Because all the narrative throughout the year is that the Packers defense and Joe Barry not doing well. They made Tommy DeVito look like fucking Joe Montana. They made the Bears look like one of the top teams of the league, and so I think if the defense can really hold up against this Niners offensive power, and then Jordan Love can really make a couple good plays there, and then combine that just balance that run game and the passing game together. We don't know. The Packers could be dangerous, so we'll see what happens. But man, I feel bad for the Cowboys here because this was an absolute shocker. Right? If the Packers would have won, I would have thought it would just been a really close game, maybe a one possession game, and maybe a last minute mess up that the Cowboys really would have pulled done like they did in past years. But to see them get just blown out of their own stadium in the playoffs by a 7th seed, did not see that coming.